We all know that water is an essential component of life in this planet. Without it, life simply cannot exist. Our planet is a closed system, meaning that it rarely loses or gains extra matter. The same water that existed on the Earth millions of years ago is still present today. From all the water that exists on the planet, humans and all living things rely on 0.007%. That is the amount of fresh water accessible to us. This fresh water is enough to cover the needs of 7 billion people. This means that we will always have around 10 trillion million gallons of fresh water renewing themselves through the water cycle. The problem is that this water is distributed unevenly, and too much of it is wasted, polluted, and unsustainably managed. All of this creates what we call water stress. Water stress is the ability or lack of to meet human and ecological demand for water. For example, 6 countries share 50% of the total freshwater reserves in the world: Brazil, Russia, the US, Canada, China, and Colombia. The rest of the countries of the world present different levels of water stress. At least 1/3 of the world's population lives in water-stressed countries. The problem of water stress is a growing one, as more people put ever-increasing demands on limited supplies. The cost and effort to build or even maintain access to water will only increase. Other part of the problem is that the infrastructure that today provides fresh water to our houses is becoming obsolete. The American Water Works Association estimates that in the US the cost of restoring underground pipes will total at least $1 trillion over the next 25 years, without including the cost of constructing new infrastructure or repairing treatment plants. We have lost sight of the importance of water in our lives. We have taken for granted the huge labyrinthic infrastructure that lies behind the simple fact that fresh water will be there at our disposal whenever we turn our faucets on. We tend to forget that it is not a coincidence that our modern cities flourished next to rivers. Civilization was born more than 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, which means the land between rivers. Humanity has prospered, building cities and great empires around water. We have also forgotten that water was present in our everyday life in many ways. The well and the fountain were places for daily social interaction. It is not a coincidence that many famous couples in the Bible first met at a well. As women had the task for getting water for their houses, they went together in groups to chat along the way. At the well, there would be men waiting for them, longing to begin a possible courtship. Today, we still socialize around water, but not in a daily basis, and more for fun in our spare time. For the future, what we require is an element that could become part of our everyday life, that could communicate with us, constantly reminding us of the importance of water, its proper management, and that somehow could help us gather around it to socialize, just as we once did around wells. This is how the water tower was born. The water tower has the primary function of collecting, treating, and storing rainwater for human consumption, taking away some load from the water grid. All of the processes that nowadays take place at a treatment plant would take place inside or underneath the tower. The tower's second function would be to communicate through these light stripes that would draw their power from the solar panels installed above the water collector. The water towers would work as suppliers for small groups of people or sections of a community. There would be towers installed around a certain amount of people that would eventually form a grid. The tower's visual communication through the light stripes will allow people to know the level of water available, so that they always have enough information about their current water status, and then make decisions accordingly. The towers will also have communication with these devices that would be installed on every water outlet in every house. The tower will send a signal to the device that would show if the levels of water are normal, shown by this pattern, or send an alert signal if something is wrong that should be addressed by the community. The alert signal would summon the community to gather around their water tower to discuss the problem and find solutions. The information panels installed at the base of the tower would provide detailed information about consumption habits and other helpful data, so that the community can take measures or even maybe congratulate those who are managing their water consumption responsibly. The water tower will constantly remind us of the advantages of managing our water responsibly. In a world of the future that will face its problems in a local scale, the water tower will allow us to think locally about water.